For being frustrated that my girlfriend is acting like my wife just 3 months into dating. Got some of my boys' opinions already, but I'd really appreciate a woman's perspective on this, or someone who's not in their 20s. I'm 24M and my girlfriend 26F, and I have been officially dating for about 3 months. We hooked up at a mutual friend's party and things progressed quickly, to the point that she's been living with me for a few weeks now. I have my own place, she was over often, and it kind of naturally evolved. Here's the issue. I feel like she's suddenly trying to control big parts of my life. For example, she gets weird or passive-aggressive if I go out to parties or work events without her, even if I'm just networking or grabbing a drink with colleagues. My job recently offered me a 3-week work trip to Singapore. I said yes on the spot, great opportunity for my career, and when I told her, she got really upset. She said I didn't factor her into the decision and that I wasn't considering her feelings. She basically acted like I owed her a discussion before accepting it, and got upset that I didn't. She implied I was being selfish and not treating the relationship seriously. To me, I'm just doing what's best for my career, which, at 24, I feel is a big priority. I'm not disappearing forever. It's a short-term trip. I don't understand what the big deal is. We ended up arguing over it, and honestly, I left the conversation feeling like I'm being punished for having ambition and independence. I care about her, but this feels like a lot, especially considering we're only 3 months in. She's treating this like we're married already, and I don't know if that's normal or a red flag. Am I overreacting, or is she being controlling here? Woman the same age as her here, you're not overreacting. You've been together a very short amount of time and it's already very full on. This is a complete guess, but all of my friends and peers are either getting engaged or announcing they're expecting or moving in together. I feel like now that we're getting closer to our later 22nds that progression is happening. If your GF's peers/friends are doing similar, maybe she's trying to mirror that and act as if she's there too, without actually considering where you're both at. End of the day, if you're not ready for something as full of as it is, tell her. You're both young and in early stages of your relationship. It should be fun and not stressful. Also, side note, my partner and I have been together 7 years. If he told me he was offered to go Singapore for 3 weeks with work and said yes on the spot, I'd be supportive. Would I be upset that we didn't talk about it first? Maybe. But I wouldn't tell him he was selfish for accepting or make him feel bad for it. Hell, I'd be jealous I couldn't go. They're doing that. 2 weddings in the summer and 3 more in the next year, but I've told her I want to wait. Career is important to me and she's been okay with it. I accepted on the spot, came home to tell her to tag along, but before I could say tag along, it became a "you're being selfish by not asking me" type of argument. I'm a woman in my 60s. You two have barely been together a minute. She's taking some big liberties. Tell her you guys jumped the gun when you had her move in so soon. If you don't necessarily want to break up, I'd definitely try to walk back the living together. Tell her while you can appreciate that she feels left out of your decisions, they are yours to make, and if she can't handle that, she is welcome to leave, because right now your career/job is your priority, not your relationship. I would try real hard to not leave her in your house when you go to Singapore for 3 weeks. But do have a friend/family member you trust either stay there or go over daily to check everything out. Try to get them to stay there. I don't think you're overreacting per se. However, she might have resentment, feeling like she's more serious and you're not. I think that some young women who are mid/late 20s start thinking about long-term relationships/goals, etc. I do think maybe you two just need to have a conversation about expectations with this new relationship and why she's feeling the way she is and why you're feeling the way you are. Communicate. Really listen to each other and don't try to win. Set up the expectations, and if they don't align, then you'll both know. I think maybe you're not ready for a living together type relationship. You moved pretty fast and she's expecting to have input into decisions that affect life in the home. You being gone for work for 3 weeks would qualify. None of this would really be as much of a problem if you were casually dating someone. You're acting like you have a friend with benefits or something casual. Once you moved her into your place, you made it a serious commitment, but you didn't lay down any ground rules. Let her know where she fits into your life with your career. When you go to these networking events and happy hours, just let her know early enough. Don't let her be home an hour or two and wonder where you are, only to find out you're coming home until late. You're making work plans, call her or text her. Hey babe, I'm getting drinks with one of the partners after work. I'll be home around 9 or 10. Give her the same professional courtesy that you give the job. You just need to communicate more. Especially if she doesn't have a job she's crazy about. She may want to pour more into the relationship while you're pouring more into work. I lived that corporate life. Well, I'm assuming you're in the corporate world. It's all about networking and making those after-hour events. That's important, especially early in your career. I don't think she's acting like you're married. I think it's common courtesy. I think you make a lot of assumptions for her and that you want her to either automatically know or just automatically feel like you do. I've been married 19 years. You have to put the work into your relationship too. I had to learn when to make professional and personal sacrifices. You need to have a serious conversation with your girl. Sit her down and explain where you want to be career-wise in the next 5 to 10 years. Then explain it's going to take X amount of work and X amount of effort from you to get there. Then this is where your GF, and our relationship fits into the picture. This is where promise you I'll communicate more, but my career is the priority right now. Have this conversation, but also be prepared that she may want more of a committed relationship and you two have reached the end. That's okay too. You both may have different goals and expectations. You just have to have a real conversation first to figure things out. But you're a guy who values his independence. You don't want to answer to anyone, and you want to be able to make decisions on the spot without considering anyone's feelings. That's great, I approve, I applaud even. But then why did you move in with this girl? And why so fast? You've got this relationship moving at high speed, and by moving her in, you've indicated that you're serious about her, so she's getting serious just as quickly as everything else has happened. Makes sense. But obviously your expectations are different. If all you want is a girlfriend while she's ready to settle down and be a wife, this relationship is not going to work out. So it's time to have the big discussion with her. I hope you can work it out. Enjoy Singapore and good luck. With the trip thing, it sounds like she's just asking to be included in big decisions. Maybe it's not big for you but feels big for her. Even if the answer was always going to be yes, you could position the conversation in accepting the yes in a way that includes her option. With the small stuff, maybe she just wants to be involved in your life a little more. I'm not sure, I don't know you guys, so it's hard to say for sure if you are overreacting. I'm in my 30s and I think I'd be a little hurt if my new boyfriend was doing social things without me. Even more so if we already lived together, which feels like a significant step to me personally. I'd have an honest convo with her and invite her to be really open. It isn't that you're overreacting or not, but YTA. After reading a number of your comments, it is clear that you want the perks of a wife but the freedom of a single guy. Maybe next time, date longer before you move in together. Get to know her. Make sure your timelines, goals and priorities are compatible. Make sure that you tell the next woman, my priority is my career. Second is freedom to go out with my friends when I want. You are third priority. Also, make sure you let the next girl know that you want her around so that you can get laid whenever you want. But I would not expect that to yield much success. It's just, kinder to let them know ahead of time. 4. Locking my bedroom door after my mother-in-law kept entering without permission. I, 23F, have been married to my husband, 31M, for 3 years, and we're currently expecting our first child. We're both excited but also stressed. I've had a tough pregnancy and rest is really important to me. My mother-in-law, 55F, lives about 20 minutes away and has a bad habit of just dropping by unannounced. My husband has always brushed it off, saying, that's just how she is, and that she means well. At first it was annoying but manageable. But lately, she's been crossing serious boundaries. Last month, she came over while I was napping, let herself in with the spare key we gave her for emergencies, and came into our bedroom to check on me. I woke up to her standing by my bed, watching me sleep. I told my husband it was creepy and I wanted the spare key back. He said I was overreacting and she was just being motherly. Then it happened again twice. One time I was in just a t-shirt and underwear, and she actually sat down at the edge of the bed to talk. I told her firmly I needed privacy and rest. Oh. I changed the doorknob on our bedroom door to one with a lock. The next time she dropped by and couldn't get into our room, she freaked out. Apparently she tried the handle, knocked, and even called my husband at work saying she was worried something had happened. Later that night, she called me controlling and rude, saying I was shutting her out of her grandchild's life already. My husband asked if I could just take the lock off to keep the peace. I told him no, she doesn't respect boundaries and the lock stays. Now his whole family is saying I'm being dramatic and that pregnancy hormones are making me paranoid. I honestly don't think I'm wrong, but now I feel isolated and ganged up on. Am I wrong for locking my bedroom door? You've got both a male and a husband problem. No, it's not hormones, it's a gross violation of privacy. You married him, not her. I suspect if you'd known she'd be allowed to waltz into both your bedroom and bathroom unannounced, you'd not have even dated him, let alone married him. Do they somehow not realize people can carry a phone in their pocket now that they can use to call anyone anywhere in the world at any time? She doesn't have to panic if she can't open a door that's not in her home. This all is 100% a power move on her part. I would tell your husband that either she no longer has keys to your house, or you'll have new keys because you will have moved. Without him. This truly is a hill I would die on. Maybe he thinks this is normal, but it isn't. You're not hormonal, you're not being ridiculous or paranoid. This is incredibly offensive behavior. I noticed she said you were shutting her out of her grandchild's life. The baby isn't even here yet. She has zero rights to your child. Being allowed to be in your child's life is a joint decision by you and your husband, and it is a privilege for her to be allowed this. She gets no say whatsoever in what you do with your baby short of you abusing the child. Tell your husband this may just be how she is, but he has to stop enabling it by justifying it and allowing it to continue. If he knew she's like this, why did he ever think it was okay for her to get a key? I'm dead serious, I would divorce over this issue. My husband has always brushed it off, saying, that's just how she is, and that she means well. And this is just how you are, you don't mean ill will. Why do you have to change who you are but Mil doesn't? The next time she dropped by and couldn't get into our room, she freaked out. Apparently she tried the handle, knocked, and even called my husband at work saying she was worried something had happened. But you're the paranoid one. The lady is losing her mind because she needs to watch you sleep. Later that night, she called me controlling and rude, saying I was shutting her out of her grandchild's life already. It's controlling and rude to demand 24/7 access to you. Did she forget you're a whole-ass human being yourself, even when you're pregnant? You didn't cease to exist, you didn't suddenly turn into an incubator. You're not just a vessel for her grandchild. My husband asked if I could just take the lock off to keep the peace. You're just trying to sleep peacefully. This nut job is the one disturbing the peace. Underreacting TBH. Start preparing for a third parent because Il is gonna get equal say and husband will side with her, so you will be outvoted every time. Well then get rid of both of them. Vows. Forsake all others. Note. 0 exceptions for crazy asshole siblings, dads, cousins, addiction, nothing. He can either be a man or go back to mommy if he needs that teat to be attached to. Husband is a weak fool. If I was her I'd get a weapon. Sleep with a paintball gun next to the bed. Will only be able to do that one more time. Seriously, if I woke up to someone in my bed, I don't care who it is, you're getting your ass beat. Yeah, she'll wake up and Emil will have taken baby with her for whatever reason, for sure. P will wake to an empty crib. Then she'll panic phone hubby and maybe even the police to report a stolen child. Il will have taken the baby to help. You can't be angry at her for this because the Emil means well. It's you causing a fuss. You were paranoid enough to think something awful had happened, like your child being kidnapped. Husband will defend his mother into the next millennium before he supports you. Have you got a key to her house? Start pulling this shit. Sneak in and sit on her bed. Let her wake up and have a heart attack when she sees someone watching over her. Is he an only child? Does she do this to husband's siblings? Your husband needs to start being your husband, not a mama's boy. He needs to start listening to you, open his eyes and support you. Also, he needs to tell his family to butt out. They have no business getting involved. Oh, you are underreacting and you have a serious husband problem. Uriel is overbearing and creepy, and your husband doesn't care how it makes you feel. Her behavior isn't normal. And there is no reason for her to have a key to your home, especially if she is going to abuse having one. His whole family is nuts. You need to go nuclear with your husband. Show him this post. Tell him that he is putting his mommy ahead of his wife, and cares more about his mom's wants than his wife's needs. Die on this hill. Either you change the locks and she doesn't get a key and needs to text or call him before coming over for scheduled visits, or you are leaving. And mean it. Do not put up with this disrespect and having someone intrude on your privacy for the rest of your life. His family seems to have some issues. I had a great relationship with my parents and we still communicated before visiting. I cannot imagine being pregnant and trying to rest and have someone come into where I was resting and start talking to me. Like what? What is wrong with her? And what is wrong with your husband? Just being motherly, my ass. Just know, she thinks you're being crazy now. Wait till she gets charged with trespassing. Perhaps you should let yourself into her house and sit on her bed at 3 a.m. and wake her up to talk. In all seriousness, as others have said, your husband and mother-in-law are going to need some training on normal practical boundaries. Sounds like your husband has ever actually pushed back on mommy before. We don't enter homes that are not ours without an invitation, and we certainly don't lord over a sleeping person's bed. This isn't Everybody Loves Raymond. Your home is your safe personal space, not hers. I'd change the house locks and inform her that while she is welcome to visit, she isn't welcome to visit whenever she wishes. I recently read a story about Emile who walked in the bedroom whilst that posts OP and her baby were napping and she took the baby downstairs to let that posts OP rest. The woman woke up and her baby was not next to her and she thought the baby was kidnapped or something. OP, this could be you in the near future. Do you have family nearby? If your husband doesn't get on board, you may have to move out until he gets his priorities straight. I was thinking just change the locks too, until I realized OP's enabling, codependent mama's boy for a husband would just give her a new key. Freak show. Off to the marriage counselor or a spine/backbone replacement surgeon. Most insurers will cover this operation. Long recovery period though.